Well, our international affairs commentator Douglas Herbert joins us now. Doug, the UN and France hosting this third donors conference in a year. Patience must be running thin, both at home and in the international community.
Yeah, patience was already all but gone. It's not running thin. It has been thin. The first donors conference, well, in the wake of the explosion last year, a donors conference similar to this one raised 280 million euros. And what was interesting about it, unique about that, is that the leaders there were determined to make sure, as Macron put it, to keep that money out of the corrupt hands of Lebanon's political class. Why? They feared you send the money to the politicians, to the government in Lebanon, the dysfunctional government, it will not get anywhere. It will be pocketed by them. It will end up enriching their own interests, so on and so forth. The same theme is being hammered away at this conference. This money that they're trying to raise, you just mentioned 100 million euros by France, the 500 million COVID vaccine donation. This money is going to be targeted specifically towards NGOs, non-government organizations, and humanitarian agencies on the ground. The idea is get it to the people where it's most needed, not to government organizations. And Macron was very clear about it. He has not been mincing his words. He basically said there will be no blank check for Lebanon's political class. And he single-handedly said, he pointed the finger at them and basically said, what we're seeing now in Lebanon, all the horrors of the economic meltdown and the poverty and the desperation of the people, this isn't bad luck. This isn't bad fate. This is due to what he called unjustifiable dysfunction, the missteps, deliberate, of the leadership and their failure to make the changes and the reforms that both France and the rest of the international donors have been calling for. The message out of this conference is, we'll help Lebanon more. We know you need more help. That money isn't coming until you make the changes and the reforms. For now, it's going to the people and the humanitarian agencies.
So this question of where the money needs to go, because the needs on the ground are huge.
I mean, everywhere you look, basically, right? France and the other donors have sort of identified 4 specific areas, the top being, obviously, health and education. Immediately, those areas are absolutely, the hospitals are losing their hospital beds. A lot of them are closing down. We've seen the situation with the pandemic, and also food security. Food security is an enormous area right now because we've talked earlier today about with the hyperinflation, inflation at over 100%, with the food prices tripling, quadrupling, quintupling sometimes from just a year ago. You have families that once were middle class and able to go shopping and stock up on really whatever they wanted, now scrounging for food and not able to afford even basic necessities. If they went out every day or 5 days a week to restaurants in Beirut, before it was a party town, they're now going out maybe once a week, maybe. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and food security is absolutely dire. There's even been warnings, they're not quite there yet, of malnutrition, that Lebanon could become not just a new poor country, but literally on the list of countries on the verge of malnutrition, where people are not having the food they require to maintain a sustainable, basic, healthy diet.